Crazy? Who you calling crazy? You the crazy one. Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are the Partners at War. Well, we're ready for another battle report, number 5.
I know, I'm really excited about getting started with this one.
Speaking of excitement, we've got a couple things to be excited about. One, we're going to LVO.
I know!
One of our watchers sent me a message or made a comment and said, hey, you guys going to LVO? I saw it. I went downstairs and I said to Tracy, hey, somebody asked we're going to LVO. And she said,
I don't know. Are we?
Are we? I went, let me see. We're not going to be in the championship. We're going to be in the team tournament. We couldn't take off that Friday. But we will be there Saturday to watch the championship. Maybe do a little filming also, because we wouldn't mind having a Partners at War, first time at LVO, short little feature.
First time in Las Vegas for both of us.
It absolutely is. We've been a lot of places, but we have not been to Las Vegas. So really looking forward to that. So if you're there, stop by. We showing off our brand new shirts that we got.
Look for us in our shirts.
We'll be wearing these in either color. We got both colors. And look forward to it. The other exciting thing is, look what happened. Oh, I've been really excited about this. I've been attracted to TZEENTCH as the Chaos build ever since originally in 40K. I've got a Thousand Suns army pretty much still sitting in the box. Magnus is still in the box. But TZEENTCH was one of the first armies outside of what came in the box set that we got put together. Our son George wanted to play, but he lost interest.
Yeah, he just loved those dwarves.
He loves the dwarves.
He just really wanted to do the dwarves.
And then he was playing the Fire Slayers in the old build and getting whipped, and then he thought he'd try something else. He's back to them now because they're really good.
Yeah.
But, so we had a lot of painted models for the old change host coming around, and that's why today we're ready to go. Had to paint some models up and touch up some stuff. But yes, we're ready to go, and we're going to play a version of the change host, and this might be my new competitive build, or competitive army. Either this or Sylvaneth. Those are the two I'm tossing back and forth. Speaking of new competitive armies...
Yeah, I decided I wanted something with a little more punch. I was looking at my options, things that we had, things that we could get and make work really quick, and I decided to go with Flesh Eater Court. I have to say, I was a little put off by the book when I first saw it, so I didn't want to give it a shot. I didn't care for the gore, but I love the lore behind it. I think it's great, and after painting the models, you really get involved with them and see them, and I really do like them a lot. And I like the big punch that they pack.
You played one game with a couple of rounds against George's Fire Slayers.
And I lasted.
Well. You did pretty well. As a matter of fact, you guys had to stop early, but I don't know who was going to win that one. And then you played at the local game store in a team tournament last night, and a team game, not tournament. And objective-wise, they just all stayed away from her. They were frightened of you. And
they were scared of me.
They were scared. And the orb kept going on the other side, so they got all the points. But I think you're really liking this now, aren't you?
I do. I like the versatility. I like the muscle. I like the spouse. So I can't wait to see them on the table tonight.
You like things coming back.
I do. Actually, Steve made the comment, and I totally agree with it. He said, these are like daughters, but they come back after they die. And I was like, well, that and lack of bathing suits.
That is true. Well, they're skimpy also. They're skimpily clad also. But I didn't just paint up this Lord of Change since yesterday, or since we had an idea. I've had him around for a long time and not been able to play him. First time I've gotten him on the table, so I'm really excited about that today.
And don't kid yourself, he's gotten a couple more in the boxes. So
yeah, there'll be some more put together. Got to get a Fate Weaver together and another Lord of Change. I'm going to this isn't a real in-depth analysis of the new TZEENTCH and the new changes. You will see the biggest change, the horrors, and how the horror, they don't summon blues or brimstone anymore. It's part of the War Scroll card, and that means you can take them in a Slaves to Darkness army and turn from pinks to blues to brimstones also. It really is something. And there should be a lot of that tonight. I've got 2 units of 20 pink horrors. And other than that, the changelings really changed, and some other things have changed. The change host itself, but not going to get in that in detail.
It's not a book review.
It's not a book review, just a battle report. We'll pick one of the Covens, just like all the new books. You've got your different, this has Covens. And we'll go from there. So without any more delay, thank you very much for watching. And here, look forward to TZEENTCH versus
Flesh Eater Courts.
Fight! Before I show the TZEENTCH army, just want to state on page 69 of the book, you have your Master of Destiny, which is your Destiny dice, and it really clearly spells it out in the new book, what you can spend them for and what you can't. And a Locus of Change, which the Chaos units are coming out with Locus, just like the Khorne has their Locus of Fury. Locus of Change, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with melee weapons that target friendly TZEENTCH demon units that are wholly within 12 inch of a TZEENTCH demon hero, which that's pretty nice. And then you have your new Covens. I just want to go over the Coven that I am choosing for this army, for this battle report, and I am choosing the Eternal Conflagration. And the big reason why is that all of the Warp Flame, Billowing Warp Flame, and Magical Flames have their rend increased by 1. And Flamers become battle line with this Coven. I think a lot of people, very briefly, are also going to take the Guild of Summoners, which will allow you to summon a Lord of Change, your first one at 9 summoning points, your second one at 18, and your third at 27. And here it is, 1,990 points. I only have 3 heroes, and this is the Change Host Battalion, which is the Lord of Change, and 8 combination horror heroes, or these other hero units, which this is a 1-drop battalion right here, 1-drop army. I have the Lord of Change. He is my general. The Wellspring of Arcane Might as his artifact. And I have given him the spell TZEENTCH's Firestorm. I have the Changeling. His spell I've given him is the Bolt of TZEENTCH. And the Changecaster, who has the artifact Shroud of Warp Flame and the spell Fold of Reality. For battle line, so there's 2 units of 20, but I have 2 units of 3 Flamers. Then I also have a unit of 10 Blue Horrors and a unit of 10 Brimstone Horrors. 1,990 point.
I have 1,980 points of Flesh Eater Court. I am not taking a court. Instead, I am going to take the Delusion Feast Day, which means that once per turn I can do Feeding Frenzy with no command point. I have 6 heroes. I have the Aberrant Ghoul King on the Royal Zombie Dragon, which is my general. He has the command trait Majestic Horror, and he's taking the spell Monstrous Vigor. Then I have my Aberrant Ghoul King on the Royal Terrorgeist. He has the mount trait Gruesome Bite, and then is taking the spell Spectral Host. The Aberrant Archregent, he's taking the Blood Feast spell, and he actually has my artifact, Dermal Robe. And then I have my Aberrant Ghoul King, whose spell is the Deranged Transformation, as well as 2 Cryptghast Courtiers. My battle line is a unit of 30 Cryptghast Ghouls and 2 units of 10 Cryptghast Ghouls. I do have the terrain piece, the Charnel Throne, and the endless spell Chalice of Eushrin?
Something like that.
And then I did pay for 1 extra command point.
And 1,980?
1980, so I get a triumph.
You get a triumph.
I'm gonna roll for that. 4 is Unbowed.
Before I go over the tabletop, a little bit of a teaser for some of the new 3D terrain that I have printed up. Have a little problem with the 3D printer right now. Prusa is taking care of us and shipping me in a couple parts that I need. But I was ready to have a table full of this gorgeous Elven-style wood terrain. But it's going to take a little time to paint this up because I really want to take my time with that. We are playing 2019 Focal Points. There are 5 objectives on the tabletop. There you see the 5 objectives. If a player controls objective 1 and 3, which are these 2 right there, they score 3 victory points. If a player controls objectives 2 and 4, these two on that side, they score 3 victory points. The central objective is always worth 2 victory points. And if a player controls any other objective, just one on its own, it is worth 1 victory point. So if you control a side of a table, you get a bonus point, basically. But the table is split right down the middle. Tracy won the roll-off to see who picked her side. She picked that side, and she deployed first. She deployed 1 unit. Then I deployed a 1-drop army, so I will get to pick who goes first. She put her throne. She's got her 2 aberrants right there by the throne.
Yep.
And a big unit of 30 with a unit of 10 ghouls behind on that objective. I have a unit of 10 blue horrors and 2 units of 3 flamers on that objective. 1 unit of 20 pink horrors there with a little squad of brimstone horrors in front to probably barricade in front of them. All 3 heroes in the middle, and my other unit of 20 pink horrors on the other objective over there. At this point in time, we've set up, battle hasn't begun. I could use the Arch Deceiver special ability of the Changeling, where I could pick him up. And at the end of my first movement phase, I could place him somewhere in the enemy's deployment zone. That puts him in threat, because his puckish misdirection ability no longer prevents a unit like ghouls from just attacking him and slaughtering him. He also lost his ability to replicate a big, huge weapon from a monster or somebody. So that's one reason he dropped 60 points. I'm not going to pick him up because it's not part of my overall strategy. The Changeling has some similarities, but the Changeling has also changed. Before the battle begins, after setup, I have to roll my destiny dice. 9 destiny dice. I want 5s, 6s, and 1s. Show 1s why later. These are the new TZEENTCH dice. The skulls are a 1. Oh, the TZEENTCH symbol is a 6. There are 2 1s, 3 6s, a 5. Put them off to the side so they can be used later in the game. Well, Trace, I think I'm going to go first.
I kind of figured that.
Kind of figured that?
Yeah, I was counting on it.
I'm going to go first, so here we go. And we now have Gifts of Worship. You can only do them successfully once per game. You have a challenge, and you have to announce this challenge in your hero phase. And this is Mass Conjuration. And Mass Conjuration is that I pick one friendly TZEENTCH wizard. Wonder who I'm going to pick.
I wonder.
Might be this guy. If that wizard successfully casts 2 spells and or endless spells in the hero phase with an unmodified casting roll of 9+, and neither spell or endless spell is unbound, the agenda is complete. If it's complete, you get to flip it over for a benefit, which the benefit is add 1 to casting rolls for that TZEENTCH wizard for the rest of the game.
Right.
And there's ones about +1 to saves, +1 to attack. So
yeah.
There's some really good ones in here for like an Arcanite build with Zangors and Zangors Enlightened. So in the hero phase, I'm going to put that on. I'm going to say this challenge right now on the Lord of Change. You're not allowed to successfully complete one more than once per game. I'm reading that if you fail, I could do it again next turn. I have 2 command points to start, 1 to begin, 1 for the War Scroll Battalion. Let's talk about the change in the horrors. They are only wizards anymore if they have at least 9 pink horrors in the unit. So if they get below that, they're no longer a wizard. They can cast 1 and unbind 1, but they no longer get to pick a lore spell. They can only cast the spell off of their War Scroll card, but any number of pink horrors can do that. And that spell, Channeling Pink Fire, has a 6+ casting value, and if they do, they're +1 to hit. So it's kind of a nice spell that all of them can cast. So that first unit of pink horrors fails. The second unit of pink horrors succeeds with a 6. Are you going to unbind that?
Sure, I am going to use my Terrorgeist. 4.
And that failed. Not only is that spell successful, I get my first fate point, and I'll use those to tally the fate points to be used later for potential summoning. The next spellcaster, we will go right to the Lord of Change. He is going to cast Mystic Shield, and he'll cast Mystic Shield on this unit of pink horrors in front of him. the Lord of Change gets to take his bottom die and turn it into the top dice. His artifact allows him to re-roll spells and casts. So I am going to risk it and not use a Destiny dice at this point in time, because if one of these is a 5 or a 6, I'm successful. And because that's a 5, I can turn that to a 5, the spell's successful, and it was cast with a 9+, so it is the first one necessary. So Tracy, you're going to unbind that Mystic Shield?
No, I'm going to give that one to you.
You're going to give that one to me?
10, yeah.
Okay. His second spell is Infernal Gateway that I'm going to cast. This is a quirk in the rules that TZEENTCH players also really need to know. We get a fate point for every successful spell that's cast and not unbound. Technically, rules as written, I'm allowed to cast the spells even without a target.
Provided it says, then choose a target.
Correct. And the Infernal Gateway spell specifically says, Infernal Gateway has a casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within 18 inches. So I do not have to have the unit before I cast it. So it's a casting value of 7, and I need to get a 9+. First one failed. Reroll. There is a 6. So that's a 12. Of course, you can't unbind that. So it doesn't impact anybody, but he has successfully accomplished mass conjuration, and he will be +1 to cast throughout the rest of the game. Now, she could have unbound because you have a +1 to unbind, so you're going to do that on a 12. Are you going to roll 12 for him?
I am not,
You're
but
not?
I would be able to.
But you would be able to.
Or could be
Okay,
able to.
that means I have now 3 fate points. The Changeling, he's going to cast Arcane Bolt. Once again, he does not have a target within range, but he's still going to cast. It is on a 5. That is an 8. It is successful. Are you going to attempt to unbind that?
Yes, I will attempt to unbind that, and I will use my +1 for this one.
Right? 7 is an 8.
That
Even with
evens.
+1, I have 4 fate points. His second spell is the Bolt of TZEENTCH. Changeling can cast 2 spells, and that is a casting value of a 7. He is unsuccessful with that. Then the Changecaster, right over here, my last hero, he has a neat little special thing that once per game he can read from that book, and he can use 3 dice and pick the highest 2 in a cast once per game. I'm not going to do that now. And if he ever rolls a spell casting roll in his one cast of a 9+, he can cast a second spell. So he is just going to cast Pink Fire, which has a casting value of 9 now. And that's an 11.
11. That is your last
That is
one.
my last spell.
So I'm going to go ahead
You're
and
going to
try
go give it a
unbind.
try.
Oh, no.
So there are 5 fate points at the end of turn 1 of the hero phase. One thing I forgot to mention at the start of the hero phase was that the new Change Host rule is really simple. If the Lord of Change from the Change Host is on the battlefield, at the start of the hero phase, you can take any of the 2 other units, other than the Lord of Change, take them up off the field, and place them anywhere else on the battlefield 9 inches away from enemy models. It's that easy. In the movement phase, I am first going to run the Brimstones. Up towards that objective is my goal. I rolled a 1 on the run, and I really need to, I hate to use a command point for this, but I am going to have to use a command point. Of course, they are within 12 inches of the general. So they are going to run 6. So they have a movement of 5. They'll be moving 11 inches. They will definitely be out of the way of the whores, who have the pink whores, have the exact same move. So they will be going 7 inches total. I will run the Changeling. He runs 3. And I will run the Herald. And he will run 5. Moved around that objective. This group stayed over here around this objective, and the pinks are taking that objective. I have some shooting, not that far, so nothing's within range. There's been no combat, no losses, so no battle shock. So we are done with TZEENTCH turn 1. 1 point for this one, 1 point for the one down there, and 2 points for the one in the middle. So scored 4 points. Hero phase turn 1. What are you going to do?
All right, so I took my command point already. I put it over there on my marker. And I don't have any wounds, so I'm not healing anything or bringing anything back. And so I am going to just go ahead and do my spell casting. The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to cast my Chalice with my zombie dragon here. It is a casting value of 6. 7.
I will attempt to unbind that. I have got 5 unbinds between the Changeling has 2, Lord of Change has 2, the Changecaster has 1. The Lord of Change can reroll his. I will just use the Changeling for this. And that is a 5. That is not successful.
All right, so I can place the chalice fully within 24 inches. Next, I'm going to use my Archregent back here. He is going to do Blood Feast. No, he's going to do Ferocious Hunger. Pick a unit wholly within 24 inches and add D3 attacks. So if it's successful, I'm going to pick this unit here.
All right.
It is a 6 to cast. Ooh, nice. And he gets +1. Because he has the dermal robe.
I can't do anything about that. The gift that I have is +1 to casting. It is not +1 to unbinding, and I'd need a 13. So those guys are going to get plus D3 attacks, correct?
Right. So I'm going to
All right, how many?
2.
2. They get +2 attacks.
Then I'm going to go with his second spell. I am going to just go ahead and do Mystic Shield on these guys as well. And that is a 6.
I'm going to let Mystic Shield go off. I'm not going to attempt to unbind it.
Okay.
Because that gives me a fate point. So
3
far
for
you've
that?
cast 3. So I'm up to 8 fate points. Yes.
Then next I'm going to do with my Ghoul King who's back here. I am going to do Black Hunger, which adds 1 attack characteristic to a unit wholly within 24 inches. I'm also going to do it on my unit of 20.
Lord of Change will do this one, and I can re-roll it. With the Lord of Change, that 5 on an unbind turns to a 5, so there's a 10, so it is unbound.
Okay, no Black
And
Hunger.
actually, that does mean his Spell Thief kicks in, and he can now cast that spell.
It's not going to do him any good though.
No, it's not going to do him any good, is it?
Because
Why
this,
not?
This spell is only good on a Flesh Eater Court unit.
Yep,
Unless you would like to give me an extra attack.
It says yeah. So he learned that spell, but he will not be casting that spell.
All right, I have one more spell then that I can use, and that is on the Terrorgeist. That is wholly within 24 inches. So I am going to put it on the zombie dragon should it come into play. And it will be a 5+ shrug if that happens.
Ooh.
Because all my army gets a 6+ shrug.
Oh, wow.
So it will give it a 5+ shrug. It is a 6 to cast. And I got a 7.
This will be the Lord of Change also. And that is he can re-roll. That is a successful. So I can give a 6+ shrug also. So do I get to use that spell?
Well, you can. If you would like to do that on me, I'd be perfectly okay with that. But it does say, Unholy Vitality has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick 1 friendly Flesh Eater Court unit. And,
well, I can't cast it because there are no
5+.
friendly Flesh Eater Court units for him, so I couldn't even cast it on you if I wanted.
Right.
Yep.
I'm friendly.
What are you doing with these little crazy guys over here? And they are crazy.
They are crazy.
They are crazy.
They're insane.
They're crazy.
All right, I'm going to run this unit, and everybody else is just going to kind of shuffle and move. I do think I'm going to run my 2 heroes over here, too.
Okay.
So let's roll for these guys. They get a 6,
they
so
get
I don't have to
6.
use a command point on that one.
That's real nice.
I'm going to go ahead and roll to run my Ghoul King. He's going 4, and my Archregent, who can run 1. So I ran this big unit of ghouls, the 6 that I rolled. I did realize that my courtiers were in there, and I needed to roll to run those as well. So this is as far as they got.
For those of you not used to Flesh Eater Courts, they are the same models. You can make them either way, but the courtiers come on 32mm bases versus the 25mm bases, and they are heroes.
They are heroes, yep.
And they summon them back.
I did just move my zombie dragon. I did not run. I just shuffled my unit of 10 up. I decided not to move at all my 2 heroes because I forgot that I needed to be able to summon without using a command point. I had to be within 1 inch of my throne.
Oh, yeah.
So
Somewhat
they
of a
stayed.
limitation with that.
Yes. But I did shuffle my unit of 10 here over a little bit. I moved my Terrorgeist just a little bit, few inches, and he has a 14-inch move, so that was no big deal. But the whole big thing of this is my command abilities, which are ability to summon, which I summoned over in that corner.
Where over here?
Yeah, lots of stuff.
What is going on over here? So you brought 4 units in. Now let's go over how many command points this actually cost you.
Because I did not move my Archregents and my Ghoul King, and they are within 1 inch of the throne, I do not have to spend a command point to use their command ability.
Which summons in the guy in the back 20 ghouls and the one in the front 10 ghouls.
10 ghouls,
Okay.
right. So then my general, who is my zombie dragon, he took Majestic Horror as his command trait, and because of that, he does not have to use a command point when he summons in, and he actually summoned in the
Vargulf, right?
Vargulf.
Yeah.
Yep.
He summoned in the Vargulf Courtier, who is a hero. So you have
Yes.
7 heroes now. And he can summon models back.
Right. He can
Okay.
bring them back if they die. And then my Terrorgeist, I actually had to spend a command point for him to use the summoning. And he's the one who brought in the 3 Crypt Players, who are considered knights. And all summoned models have to be within 6 inches of a table edge when they are summoned.
Of a table edge. Okay.
Yes,
And we
and
measured
9
that all
inches
out.
from your
And 9 inches from an enemy.
an enemy unit.
All right.
So that is the
Well-
end of my movement phase.
And that adds a whole lot of points into your entire army.
Right.
Right there. Turn
Yes.
1. Shooting phase. Oh, we're just laughing about this because they've got a death scream, right?
It is an amazing scream, yes.
It's an amazing scream that is terrifying to most units, but you roll 2 dice.
Yep,
If it's higher than the unit's bravery, they take mortal wounds.
right. If I am more than 3 inches away, I have to subtract 2.
Subtract 2. Well, the funny thing is, every model in my army and every model in your army has a 10 bravery. We have an entire 10 bravery tabletop right
so
now.
even if I rolled a 12,
Minus
minus
2.
2 is 10, it wouldn't do anything.
It wouldn't do anything. So that's a absolutely ineffective shooting attack at all.
Right.
Okay, so shooting phase is over.
It's over.
All right, let's go on to the charge phase.
Charge phase. I am going to start with my unit of 20. And 3 is not going to do it. So let's go ahead and try my unit of 10. 7, they don't make it. And then I'm going to try my flayers.
And the flares, this is scary for those flamers back there.
And they got a 6.
all
So
fail.
they did not. So
Okay, charge
that
phase
is
over.
kind of the end of my phase.
Battle shock, nobody's gone, and you get 1 point for that. And 1 point for that. At the end of turn 1, it is Tzeentch 4.
Flesh Eater
Flesh Eater
Court
Court 2.
I had to think about who I was.
I was like, we've been playing so many different armies. Who are we playing right now? Interesting roll-off.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this all. We're playing new armies, and one of the things we're in a situation, this spell combo of Mortal Wounds is tremendously scary, but it only really has an 18-inch threat with how I'm building this build right now. I'm really interested in getting the Umbral Spell Portal right now and throwing it into this army somehow, because I really do want some extra range. But we might, whoever wins, might make the other person go first. Correct?
Yeah. I don't mind you going first and not being able to cast on me.
And having 2 turns without the Lord of Change being able to dish out mortal wounds.
Right. To expand on that, the reason he can't is because I stayed outside of 18 inches.
Correct.
I did not move anybody within 18 inches of him. Now, he can, there are a couple little guys
Yes.
out here who can be in range, but it's really not as dangerous as it would be if
No.
he was closer.
That movement of staying outside of personally measuring the threat of the Lord of Change and staying outside that 18-inch bubble was a great move. It's an absolutely great move.
So let's go ahead and roll and see what's going
Yes, here we go. That's a
That
3.
gives me a chance.
Oh, that's a 2. Oh, it's my call. That's
are
a
you gonna do?
tough call. It is time for a little change host movement
Well, you have to say you decide to go first.
shenanigans. Because I am deciding to go first.
I'm interested to see how it's all going to play out.
That will give me my extra command point. And I will, in the change host, take 2 of the units that are inside the change host, because my general's still in the battlefield, I'm going to take this unit of 10 off the tabletop. And I'm going to take this unit of 20 off the tabletop. And we'll see where we go from there. That's more of a Crypt Ghoul thing than a Tzeentch thing, isn't it?
I don't know why. It's kind of just evil. It's just evil.
That's more of a Tzeentch thing. All right, so I have now placed the pink horrors over on that spot, and the blue horrors have come over to here.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Once per turn, the Lord of Change can use Spell Eater, and in your hero phase, you can pick one endless spell within 18 inches of him and simply say goodbye-bye. Hero phase casting. Last round, I forgot to add in the pink horrors, if they are within 12 inches of any friendly Tzeentch demon hero, which we measured they are, they get +1 to casting. Their channeled pink flesh, which has a casting value of 6, this will give them +1 to hit. So that failed. This pink horror group will also cast it. 6 + 2 is an 8. They get +1 to casting because they are within 12 inches of a hero. So they have a 9, and it will give them +1 to hit. Tracy's going to decide to unbind it. Oh, and you did. So not only does that not go off, I do not get the fate point for that.
Nice. And I just read my Archregent does get 2 unbinds.
Oh, he gets 2 unbinds.
And he gets a +1 to those.
He gets 2 unbinds at +1?
Because of the dermal robe. Yep.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
The Lord of Tzeentch will cast 2 spells, and of course, she did stay outside of 18, and that's his range. So I don't have a target, but I just want to get those points. His first spell he'll cast will be Infernal Gateway, which can do up to 6 to 9 mortal wounds right now. So you're glad that you're outside of the 18 inches, but that is a 7 to cast. That is actually an 8. Or he can re-roll that. I'll re-roll that. And there's a 12. There's 2 6s. So you can't
I
unbind that.
could if I got a 12 with my +1, but I'm not going to give that
But he's +1 to casting, so he's at a 13 also. So he will go with his other spell, which...
But that gave you a point.
That gives me a point. This is Tzeentch's Firestorm, which does mortal wounds also, but you're outside of range. Casting value of a 9. He can re-roll that. That is an 11 +1. That's actually a 12 because it'll match. +1 is a 13. So both those cast, that's 2 more points. Kind of an interesting one. The Changeling has the Bolt of Tzeentch, which he can cast anyway. We've already discussed that. But to actually do damage, he has to pick a unit within 18 inches that he has line of sight to. And the wording is, pick one enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster and visible to them. That unit... looking that way, is within 18 inches. The models that are within 18 inches are not visible to him, but other parts of the unit are. So yes, he will also be able to damage that unit.
Okay.
And that has a casting value of 7. That did not go off. And he will cast Mystic Shield on this unit over here. They're within 18 inches of pink horse. And that's a fail also. The Changecaster has no one in range, so he's actually going to attempt to cast Arcane Bolt, because I haven't done that, and that is a 5. I'm just trying to get the summoning points. Tracy, I just rolled Snake Eyes.
I'll take it.
Tzeentch, they're over there practicing because no one's in range, and they're not doing a good job of it. That is the end of the hero phase. I ran the Brimstone Horrors up that direction. Might want to try to delay that assault she's probably going to do coming back here on the blues. Move this unit of pinks up somewhat so I can get some shots off with their magical flames, which remember in this coven is -1 to rend. And move the flamers back here to be able to take some shots. And then my heroes, I kind of shuffled that way just a little bit because I have a feeling that you're getting really hungry with that group back there to come for this objective. So the back unit of 3 flamers will shoot the crit flayers. They have 3 attacks, 4 to hit, 3 to wound. Now they're -1 rend, D3 wounds. They have 2 special abilities, but they're +1 to hit if you have 10 or more models, +2 to hit if you have 20 or more models. Of course, that doesn't apply. 3. These are 3 to wound. 3 wounds at -1 rend.
Okay, 6s. Ooh.
You did not just do that.
I just did. So 1 does not save.
At D3, 3 wounds.
Okay, and I have a 6 shrug. So I take 2 wounds. They have 4 each.
All right. So one of them's left with 2 wounds. The exact same attack is coming from the other flamer. Hitting on 4s, 5 hit. Wounding on 3s, 4 wound at -1 rend.
Okay, 6s. 1 saved.
D3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 6 plus shrug off, so 4. So
wounds.
1 dice.
Dice. Well, 1 had 2, so he dies. And then
2 dice will shift over to another guy.
Yes.
Pink ores have a 12-inch range with their magical flames. 2 of them are out of range of this larger 20-man squad, so 2 of them are going to have to attack into the 10-man squad. They get 3 attacks apiece, hitting on 5s. Oh, that's pretty nice. Wounds on 4. Oh, that's a good roll. 4 wounds, -1 rend.
Okay, I can't save
So that's 1 damage each.
because they have a 6, and then I get a 6.
Oh, you
shrug.
do get a 6 shrug.
1.
So 3 die.
3 die.
11 of those are within range. 11 are shooting with 3 attacks apiece. That's 33 dice. Plus 1 attack for the leader, hitting on 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hit. These wound on 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1 rend.
So these are just the 6 shrug. And I shrug 2, so 4 die.
Now we have over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 attacking, 3 attacks apiece, plus 1 for the leader, 34 attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These wound on 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 6 plus shrug offs. So 9 die. I am not going to be charging, so there will be no charge phase and no combat phase. So now it is on to the battle shock phase. You lost 3 over here, you have a 10 bravery, so that cannot happen.
Right.
You lost 4 there, you have a 10 bravery, that cannot happen. You lost 1 here, the exact same thing, that cannot. But you did lose 9 over there.
I am going to go ahead and play the numbers and roll it. So I lose
14,
4
you
more.
lose 4 more. I get 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 8 points at the end of my turn 2, going into the bottom of the second. Flesh Eater Courts.
Starting at my command phase, I am going to, or my hero phase, I'm going to get my command point.
Okay.
Then I'm going to do some bringing back slain models, hopefully. And then I can't do healing, but nothing that can heal took any wounds.
None of
it'll
your
just
big
be-
guys.
Yeah, it'll
took
just
stuff.
be returning slain models. So
Alright.
each of these Crypt Gas Courtiers, I roll 6 dice each, and for every 2+ they bring back a slain model. So I get
That's
to
5
bring
of them
back
are back.
5, and then I'll roll the same 6 dice for the other one, and I get to bring
All
back
of them. So 11 of those 14 are back.
So 13.
Oh.
So technically I lost 2.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so the same thing happens back here for my Vorgolf. Although I roll the 6 and I can determine which of the 3 units I want to bring back. Ghouls can come back on a 2+, Knight on a 5+.
And serfs are the smalls and knights are the bigs.
Right. So I did get a 5+. I am going to bring one of those back.
And all the others are successful
Right,
also.
so I'll get to bring back 5 of the serfs here.
Which you had lost 7.
Yes, so almost everybody comes back.
All of that shooting and all those wonderful dice.
I know.
Everything else, you lost 4 ghouls.
Right, and that's why I like Flesh Eater Court. I am going to attempt to recast my chalice with my zombie dragon, and it is a 6. And I got a 6.
That will not work because I am going to unbind it with a changeling, and I do not want that thing to be on the tabletop. So I am going to use 1 of my 3 6s as the first dice. A second dice of a 5, there's an 11. It is not that.
But you had to use a
But you
fate
made
dice.
me use a 6 destiny dice.
Nice.
Correct.
Okay. I am going to attempt Spectral Host with my Terrorgeist. He's going to try to cast it on himself. Spectral Host will allow a unit to fly, but if the unit can already fly, then they can run and charge.
Oh, sweet.
So since he already flies, he would be able to run and charge. It is a 6 to cast, and I got a 7.
We measured also, he is 30 inches out from both of those guys, and that's why I couldn't use him to unbind. The change caster will attempt to unbind, and that is a fail.
Oh,
So-
yay! Okay, So he has Spectral Host and he can run and charge, which is a good thing this turn.
That is a good thing, but that is 11 fate points.
My Archregent right here, he is going to attempt Ferocious Hunger, and it is a 6 to cast and will give D3 extra attacks. I'm going to try to cast it right here on my Terrorgeist. 7. And he gets +1, so that is an 8.
Because the Lord of Change is within 30, that will be matched up for a 10, and that is unbound.
So then instead, my Ghoul King will try to do Black Hunger, which will give 1 extra attack then.
All
And
right.
we'll try again with the Terrorgeist. It is a 5 to cast. 6.
And that was just natural.
That was an automatic one. My Archregent actually has 2 spells he can cast, so I'm going to go ahead and do Mystic Shield on this unit.
Not only because it's high, I also want the fate point.
Fate point.
So Mystic Shield goes off. Movement phase, who are you running?
I'm going to run the Ghoul King. I'm going to run the Archregent. Got a 2. I'm going to run my Terrorgeist. 2.
He has run up, but remember, he cast the spell. He can run in charge. Whole lot of mayhem is about to take place on this side. So who are you going to shoot with? They have to be within 3 to not get the -2. So they're ineffective.
His is, when you attack with this model's Pestilence Breath, roll a dice before making the hit roll for the attack. If the roll is less than or equal to the number of models in the target unit,
Which you will be successful.
yep, the attack scores a hit without needing to hit roll.
Yes, you are.
So my 2 wound roll is a 2+. Seriously.
So that is it. We are on to the charge phase. Charge phase, who are you rolling for first?
Crypt Players first.
All right.
6.
Now you get a 6. Once again, you're supposed to move them in, but for this interest of time, we know they're not going to interrupt with all the others.
Right.
But we're probably going to have to stop and move all the models in on any of these that are successful.
So we're going to do this large unit of 30 first.
All right.
And they got a 7. So let me move
Let's
those.
move those. And this demonstrates why you really need, in these situations, you have to follow the rules. And I would follow them in a tournament or a local gameplay anyway, if we're not filming, that once you roll on the unit, now they make their charge, because you can really see it narrows the window of opportunity for these other units. And picking which unit to charge first is very important.
Right.
You're going to now charge with which one?
The unit of 20.
That would make sense to have the bigger unit go. And they go 7 inches also. Every game has its critical moments.
Let's see. 7.
That is a 1 inch off fail. It is an 8 inch charge. We measured that.
So I will spend a command point.
Ooh.
Go down to 1 and re-roll. Oh yeah!
Oh, the 10 inch charge gets it. Well.
That is a monster mash.
That is a collection of stinky decaying bodies and glorious pink horrors.
Whatever.
Looks like a pretty good fight gonna be brewing in the future over here. You got your crypt flayers into those flamers. Who are you going first? This is a tough one to pick, isn't it?
It really is, but I am going to go with my 28 ghouls. So I'm going to pile those in and attack with those first.
All right. How many attacks is that massive ugliness gonna do on me?
Each of them get 3 attacks because I have more than 20 models in the unit.
Base 2 plus 1 because
Plus
of more.
1. Yeah, and I have 20 of them that are within attack range.
Okay.
So 60 attacks plus 1 for the leader.
And if those spells would have gone off that plus D3
Yeah.
plus 1,
Oh,
you
I
could end up
wish.
with 7 attacks each on there.
Each 61 attacks. It's a 4/4, and because I'm wholly within 18 inches of an aberrant, I get to reroll ones. Hit rolls of ones.
What is the name of that called?
Royal approval.
They have royal approval.
Okay, so I have 31. I'll roll it twice.
Here are the ones. 15 hits
Hits.
so far.
So I'm going to roll these. 4s are wounds. 2, 4, 6, 8.
8 wounds so far.
And then I'm going to do them all again and except that one.
Once again, these are hitting on 4s and re-rolling 1s.
Rerolling ones.
It's the second half of the attacks.
Okay.
And all of those are 4 to wound.
2, 4, 6, 8. 16.
16 wounds.
No rend.
No rend. 6 plus, not bad. So that leaves 12 and a 6 plus shrug off. One of those. That is 11 of those die, which means 22 blue models get put back into the unit.
Yes.
Immediately. This is a difference between the new horrors and the old ones. There's not blue points that then you summon with. They immediately get put back in the unit within 1 inch of the location of where the slain model was. Now, one way to stop this is to surround it and not leave any room, which I'm a little bit concerned about. And as I'll explain on the card as split and split again. You do have another option, which is to do petty vengeance. If a pink horror model from this unit is slain and you do not use its split and split again, which really would occur in 2 different times. 1, if you didn't have enough room to place the horrors, or 2, if you just didn't bring enough horrors along to the tournament or the game. Which could happen. If you cannot add any models to this unit, you can pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of this unit and roll a die. On a 5+, it takes 1 mortal wound. Well, there we are. The blues have been put in there. But you're not done yet, are you?
No, I'm not. Okay, so the Flesh Eater Courts have this amazing command ability.
Amazing.
Amazing. And that is in the combat phase, Flesh Eater Courts unit that has fought for the first time and is wholly within 12 inches of a friendly hero or 18 inches of their general.
You're easily 18 inches of within your general.
Okay, good. I can immediately make a pile-in move and then attack with all of my melee weapons it is armed with for a second time. However, the reason I did not take a Grand Court is because I wanted to take the Delusion Feast Day, which means that once per turn, you can use Feeding Frenzy command ability without using a command point.
Flesh Eater Courts is just one of the books that not taking the Covens, the Grand Court, or whatever it is throughout the whole books, really can be a tremendous build, almost a better build than some of the other ones.
I do really like that ability.
Yeah. It is kind of a bully act, though.
Aww. Are you feeling bullied?
All right, why don't you just kill all these pinks? And guess what? Now, when the pinks go away, I'm going to have a very tough time fitting because the blues have to go in within 1 inch of the model they're replacing. Now, you get to take it out first, and then you can put the blues in. But if they don't fit, they're gone. So there might be some grudge or petty whatever else it is coming back at you. +1 for the leader.
+1 for the leader, and I get...
You're still re-rolling ones because you still have Royal Pardon or whatever the heck you call it.
All right.
That's still quite a few hits. How many hits? Oh, you got to roll those for wounds.
Yeah, I got to roll for wounds. 4's to wound. So 5.
Okay.
So now I'll do it again without the white dice because that was the +1 for the leader.
+1 for the leader. 4's to wound.
So 5 and then 2, 4, 6, 8.
So 13.
No rent.
6+ save. 6+ shrug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The reason why that's devastating is because the ability to summon back pinks during the Battle Shock phase on a 1, which is the reason why I wanted to keep the 1 Destiny dice, can only occur when you have the icon. Once you kill the pinks out, that doesn't happen anymore, and that's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All the pinks are gone. So 2 of them I was not able to fit blues in for. So they're going to do Petty Vengeance back on that unit. 5s or 6, and 1 mortal wound. Did not make. Oh, I kill a ghoul back. And that's it. That is a unit of pinks being turned into a unit of blues. I'm going to go with the unit of blue flames. 14 of them can attack into that unit of ghouls, and 13 are going to attack into that unit of ghouls. Their wonderful melee attack is 1 Talon Hand, hitting on a 5, 4, no rend. This one does not get a -1 rend.
Oh, it doesn't?
Nope, does not. And 1 damage. And those are on 4s. 3, no rend.
Okay, so then I get a 6 save, and then I get a 6 shrug. 1.
Take that, you 2 dirty ghouls. 13 attacks on the other unit of ghouls. Oh, I missed 1. 1.
All right, 6. Nope, and a 6 shrug. No. So
1 more ghoul bites the dust.
I'm gonna go with my crit flayers, and I'm gonna go ahead. I was thinking about splitting my attacks, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna just try to take out this unit right here.
Okay. If anybody's watching and they're saying, Steve, did you forget the locus of change? Which is that Tzeentch demon units are -1 to be hit if they're within 12 inches of a hero, and we did not have -1 to hit for all those guys. Well, we measured, and that unit of horrors was not fully within 12 inches of the nearest hero. So no, we did not miss that. All right, attacking with the crypt flares on that unit of flamers back there, and they are not within 12 inches, wholly within 12 inches of the hero, so they're not -1 to hit.
So they have piercing talons. They each get 4 attacks, +1 for the leader, and 6s are an additional mortal wound to hit. So 2 mortals, and then all of them roll for wound. 3s to wound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular, 2 mortal, -1 rend.
-1 rend, that's a 6+ save. So that's 6, 7, 8 wounds.
Yeah. How many do they have each?
2 each. That is a unit gone. Another change in the book is they no longer have that ability to roll a die, and if they roll a 6, they explode into 2 separate new ones.
Oh.
That is gone now from the Flamers. Flamers of Tzeentch have Touched by Fire. Roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or mortal wound to this unit that was inflicted by a melee weapon. On a 5+, it inflicts a mortal wound back. You shouldn't be messing with fire. The 8 wounds. 1.
I get a 6+ shrug on that.
1 wound on that guy's down to 1 wound. He had
Yes.
2. It's my attack, and they've gone. They've gone, so I don't need to go here. So guess what? Bring it on! I got 10 blue whores that are about to tear guys apart. Now they probably aren't. Wow, they have 1 talon hand. Well, they have 2, but they have 1 talon hand attack, and that is 5 to hit. And that is a 4 to wound. They're done.
I think I'm gonna go with this second unit of ghouls over here. So I have 17 attacking. They get 2 attacks each, +1 because I have 20 models in the unit. Rolling 1s.
Okay, because you're within 18 inch of your general.
Of my general. 4s, and then 4s to wound. I could roll more ones. And 4s to
4s
wound.
again, 10 wounds, 6 saves, not a 1.
And no shrug, right?
No shrug on the blues. 10 more of those die. 3 flamers are attacking, 2 attacks apiece, 5 to hit, 3 to wound. 1 wound, no rend. This one does not get rend.
So they have a 5+ save. Okay, 6+ shrug. Nope, you
Oh, one of them is dead. So you're activating this guy? You're picking him?
I'm gonna do the Terrorgeist. And the first attack he has is the gory talons and fangs of the rider, the aberrant on the back. He gets 5 attacks, 3, but he gets -1 to hit you because you're a Tzeentch demon.
Tzeentch demon, and we measured wholly within 12 inches of a hero.
So this is 4, 3. 1.
So
-1 rend.
So that is 1 wound.
Yes. And then Skeletal Claws, 4 attacks, 4, 3, so it's 5, 3. Just the 1. Nothing. And then the 3-fanged maw, which is my favorite attack, because if I get a hit roll of 6, it does an auto 6 mortal wounds.
So the -1 doesn't really bother you because you really want the
If I get the 6s. Okay.
All right.
So normally it'll hit on a 4, so it'll hit on a 5
It's on
anyway.
a 5 now. Okay.
Ooh!
No, you did not just do that.
Did. So this one doesn't
That's
hit anyway.
additional or just 6? Oh, it stops.
Yeah, it stops.
So that's 12 mortal wounds.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that will, and plus the 1
Right,
wound,
from before.
and they do not have any, and it's -1 rend, so that they cannot save on
Actually,
that.
that's -2 rend.
Yeah.
Oh, for the first one, -1.
They can't save on that. So that is 13 wounds. That will kill these 10. They would be replaced with 10 brimstone, but 3 of those would die from the carryover.
So you'll end up with 7 brimstone.
I'm like, okay, at least they're there. At least they're a barricade in case you get the back-to-back to stop you from getting to him.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, some FEC shenanigans.
Right. I am going to do the Feeding Frenzy command ability. So last time I got to do it for free, but this time it's going to cost me my command point that I still have. So I won't have any command points left, but I get to do all their melee attacks again. Gory talons and fangs. 1. And then the skeletal claws, and that's D3.
Oh.
2.
2.
And then the fanged maw, 3 of them attack. 5s hit, but 6s are 6 mortal wounds.
No, you don't do this to me again.
No.
No, they all missed. Oh, yes. So 3 of these guys died. Okay, so we are done with combat.
Yes. Battle shock.
Battle shock. I'm going to spend a command point. Make sure they don't run.
Okay, you're within 12 of your general.
I'm within
so
12 of
you
my
can do that.
general, so I'm able to do that. I lost 30, but I have a 10 bravery. So the difference between those two is 20. So I'm basically going to lose 20 plus a die 6. But instead, I am going to use one of my 1 destiny dice. So it's 21, so there will be 5 of those remaining.
I love ghouls.
Another rules clarification. 21 models flee. Look in the rules and it says that models that flee are counted as being slain. Therefore, the 21 that run away will be replaced with 21 brimstone horrors. That gives the unit a little bit more durability than we thought it did. You keep that one and you keep that one. We counted it up. I still have that one.
Only by a little.
And those brimstone are showing that Terrorgeist who's boss on that objective. So you have 2 points, so it's 8-4 at the end of turn 2. It's the big roll off for turn 3.
This always gets me.
Oh, 3? Oh no!
Yes.
Because I was going to do that change host
And pull these guys out?
and pull those guys out.
Oh, and put these guys in.
No, I was going to ignore that whole side of the table.
Oh.
I probably shouldn't have told you that since it's my turn.
Turn 3, I am going to bring back some ghouls. So I am going to roll 6 dice for each of my courtiers here. This courtier can only really bring back to this unit. So he's going to bring back
4, so it's 1 shy.
And then this courtier can bring back to any of those. He's going to bring back 4.
That's all 8.
And that's everybody I'm missing. So my Bargolf could bring back models, but he's outside of 10 inches of my Crypt Flayers, and these guys have already all been brought back.
Hero phase, what are you going to do first?
I'm going to start by trying to put my Cauldron out from my Archregent right here. It is a 6 to cast. And I got a 7, and he gets a +1.
Tracy has placed that right there, and I've decided not to unbind it to have a successful spell cast, putting me at 13 fate points.
All right, my next spell I'm going to do with my zombie dragon, his Malefic Hunger, and it is a 6 to cast. Ooh, 10. What that will do is give him a 16-inch bubble where all Flesh Eater Court get to reroll their wound rolls.
Lord of Change is going to attempt to unbind that, and he gets to reroll his unbinds and match the highest. So I'm going to reroll. I need to roll one of these as a 6. No, so that is successfully cast.
Excellent.
And that's 14 fate point.
My Archregent gets another spell. He is going to do Ferocious Hunger, and it is a 6 to cast. And he got a 6 +1 is 7.
The Changeling will attempt to, for his second unbind, to unbind that, and that is unsuccessful. So I'm up to 15 fate points.
And I'm going to roll for my D3 extra attacks. They will get 1 extra attack. Then my Ghoul King is going to cast here Black Hunger, which would be 1 additional attack, 5 to cast. And I got a 6.
The Changecaster will attempt to unbind. Not successful. 16 points.
And then my last spell is my Terrorgeist over here. He is going to attempt Unholy Vitality, which would give him that 5+ shrug against all wounds, mortal or regular.
Oh, this is one I definitely do not want to happen. So there might be a Destiny dice here. At least you'll use up a Destiny dice if you roll well.
It is a 6 to cast. And I got a 10.
Oh, I hate doing this, but yes, I will use the 6.
Which turns whatever else you roll
doesn't matter.
into a
The other
6.
dice will turn into a 6, so that is unbound.
All right. That is all of my spells.
Movement phase. Who are you running?
I am going to abandon that point with these guys.
With that unit of 30?
With this unit of 30 trying to come back and defend here. I'm going to run these guys this direction, trying to double up what I can do over here. So those 2 runs are for sure. So let's roll for these guys first.
It's kind of an important roll.
2. I only have 1 command point, the one I just got this turn. So I think I'm not going to re-roll.
Okay.
These guys, ooh, they're gonna get to go
Sweet.
the 12.
And that's it?
And I think that's it. Okay.
Well, you made it another strategic decision.
I did. I am not going to take that because even if he gets rid of these brimstones, it's still 1-1. And I really want to avoid you taking both of these for the 3 points. So I'm going to retreat him at a run to try to help defend over here. 1.
Well, he's still moving 15
inches, yeah.
Movement phase. Brought the Vargolf up closer to here. I think she's hoping to bring that guy back, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And that unit of 10 set themselves up for a charge. That unit of 30 is going back on the objective, which he's hiding from everyone. And
I left
he got scared. And he ran away, created a bubble back there, and ran the other 10 ghouls over here to protect that. Zombie Dragon is going to shoot right into here. Okay.
It is an auto hit because if I roll a dice and it's equal to or less than the number of models in that target unit, it automatically hits.
All right,
so
with 20 it hits.
yeah, so that's going to hit
So
here.
wounds on a...
2+.
Let's see that again.
4. So
4.
it does hit and it's D6 damage. 1.
And they have a 6+ shrug off, which they did not. So you did kill 1 pink horror, which turns into 2 blue horror. They're going to try their scream, and now you're within 3 inches, so you're not at -2.
Right, so I still have to beat your bravery with 2d6, so I need an 11 or a 12, and I'll roll the first one for this one and the second one for this one. Ooh, close.
Equaled their bravery.
No. He has also a death streak. It works a little bit differently, but it's still based on bravery. He has a table, so I roll 1 dice, add the number on the table, which since he is not damaged is a 6, and then we're going to compare it to the target's bravery as well. So if I get a 5 or a 6, he'll lose either 1 or 2 models. Oh, 6. 2,
that's kind of big,
yeah.
and nothing comes back from them.
My only charge is these guys trying to get into this unit here. And I got an 11.
They can go wherever they want to go.
Which will get me closer to that objective, which is great. I think my best bet is to go with this large unit here, try and get rid of as much of this as I can. So I'm going to pile in.
All right. Tracy's piled that unit around that group of horrors, and they're attacking. They have 20, so they get +1 attack.
20, so they get +1 attack, and +1 for the leader, so that's the white dice here. And I'm only rolling half the first time, and then half the second time, and it's 4 4s. I am not re-rolling 1s because I'm outside of my general.
There's 1/2 of the hits.
4s to wound. 2, 4, 5 for the first half. No rend.
They have a 6+. So 4 die. Blues do not get a shrug, only pinks.
And I took out my white dice for my 1 for the leader, so this is the second half. 4s.
7 more wounds. One of those saves, 6, so 10 die. Now the split and split again ability says that if you have any pinks, you have to take them out first. I do not read right now where it says anywhere that if you have blues, you have to take them out first. Now she's going to use that delusion, correct?
Right, my feast day, where I get to pile in an attack again for free.
We just took that exact same attack once again, didn't add it into the video because it ended up with the exact same result.
Yeah,
10 more died, so 10 more brims died. I'm going to choose to go with the flamers here, 2 attacks apiece. So that's 6 attacks, a 5 to hit, 1 hit, 3 to wound, no wound. Those 3-inch markers are separating the units up. And you have how many attacks?
7.
And the leader.
Right, and so 2 each because I don't have 20 or more models in that. They only get their base 2, and then +1 for the leader, 4 4s. Those are my hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 die. Those 2 little guys are going to attack. They have 1 attack apiece. They hit on 5s. They wound on 4s. Oh, yes, take that.
No, and I get a 6 shrug.
He killed 1.
Killed 1, yeah.
Going with the crit flares.
Each of them get 4 attacks for base, +1 for my leader, who's the bony dude over there. And 6s are an additional mortal wound, hitting on 4s. 3 additional mortal wounds, and then we'll roll all of those for 3s for to wound.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you have any rend?
-1.
So I have a 6+ save. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
+3.
That kills the unit. During melee, if you give me a wound or a mortal wound due to a melee weapon, you get a mortal wound back on a 5/6. Oh, that is 4 mortal wounds.
All right, well, I need to roll a 6, otherwise 1 dies. No, 1 dies.
Kill one. Battle shock phase. They lost 20-something models. They will run, but they will be replaced with 2 brims.
And that makes my chalice 22.
That makes the chalice counts for, the slain.
So I roll 22 dice, and on a 4+, I bring back slain models for a unit that's wholly within 12 of the chalice.
Let's not roll. That's 22 dice, and you lost 1 guy.
Right.
At 1/4+, he comes back. I'll give you that.
All right.
He comes back.
But that clears out my
But that
count,
clears out
then.
the chalice. That's how the chalice works. And of course, he has a 10 bravery, lost 1 model, so no battle shock roll for him. Now, this unit did lose 1, and I'm +1 to hit with missile weapons if I have 20. I am going to use my 1 on my battle shock roll because I have a banner to bring back D6 pinks, and I am just going to bring back that 1 pink.
Okay.
So that's kind of neat. There are now 22 models in a unit that started out at 20 models. And Tracy got this entire side, so that's 3 points. Plus that one, 4 points. So at the end of your turn, it is what?
8-8. We're tied.
We're tied. Guess what time it is?
Time to move.
Time for some change host movement shenanigans. I really need that objective. So there are the 2 units from the change host. The pink horse and the changeling that I have brought back 9 inches out. Also, I am going to pick for my gifts the Tides of Anarchy on that unit of pink horrors. And if a friendly Tzeentch unit that has 9 or more models gains control of an objective that was controlled by your opponent at the start of your hero phase, which you control that objective, the agenda is complete. If it's complete, then each Tzeentch model in the unit that completed this agenda counts as 2 models instead of 1 for taking the objective.
So 2 million instead of 1 million models on the
Yes.
Gotcha.
So Tides of Anarchy. That's the agenda I'm taking for this hero phase. And now onto some spells. The Change Caster is going to cast his spell, Pink Fire of Tzeentch. It has a casting value of 9. If successfully cast, pick 1 enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster, and it does, and that's visible. The Terrorgeist is not visible because of the building, so it does D6 mortal wounds. I was a little disappointed there was no visibility there, but I'm going to attempt to do D6 mortal wounds to him. It is a 9 to cast. If he successfully once per game, he can do 3d6 instead of 2d6. I'm going to attempt that.
Okay.
So I'll roll 3d6.
You only get to pick the top 2, right?
Yes, I only get to pick the top 2 dice. Ooh. And there is a 10. So that is successful.
So I'm going to use my Archregent because he has a +1.
And we did check it is within 30.
8. 9.
9, so not successful. He takes d6 mortal wounds.
1.
2. He still has 2 left. The Change Caster also has the ability Fortune and Fate. If he successfully casts a spell with a roll of 9+, this model can attempt to cast 1 extra spell. He is going to cast Fold Reality, which has a casting value of 7. Now this is a gamble. Pick 1 friendly Tzeentch demon unit wholly within 18 inches of the caster. I'm going to pick that unit right there.
Okay.
If it's successful on a 7, you roll a die 6. On a 1, the unit is destroyed. You don't do that with a big, huge unit. On a 2 through 6, you return that many models to the unit.
Oh, okay.
So I can return, hopefully, 2 to 6 pink horrors back. Fold Reality has a casting value of a 7. I think it's a good time to use a Destiny dice of a 4, so the second dice only needs to be a 3+. That's a failure. The Change Caster can cast 2. His first one is going to be Bolt of Tzeentch that he's going to cast into the Terrorgeist. Bolt of Tzeentch has a casting value of 7. If it's successful, it does d6 mortal wounds. That is an 11. Tracy's going to try to unbind. She has a +1, so she needs an 11.
So this is the second unbind with my Archregent. Nope.
Nope. He takes 3 mortal wounds.
6s.
He takes 1 mortal wound. His second spell he's going to cast is Arcane Bolt, which that is an 8.
Okay, I will try to unbind it with my Ghoul King. No.
Which
and
you can
I get to shrug.
shrug.
No.
No, so he takes 1 more mortal wound. I have 18 fate points. I really want 20 to be able to summon, and I have 2 spells cast from the Lord of Change. He is going to do his Infernal Gateway spell, and I'm going to try to kill off this unit right here. The Infernal Gateway has a casting value of 7. Is successfully cast, pick 1 enemy unit, and I roll 9 dice. It's an 18-inch range, and I look at the chart here, and the Infernal Gateway starts with a 3+. Every 3+ is a mortal wound. And remember, I get to re-roll and match. That is, because that's a 6, that is a 12. And he's +1 to casting, it's a 13, so you cannot
I don't have
unbind
any
that.
way to do that.
So right now he takes 9 dice, and every 3+ is a mortal wound.
7?
That's 7 mortal wounds.
All right, so here's my shrugs. Nothing. So he did die.
He is dead. For the 20th fate point, he's going to attempt to cast TZEENTCH Firestorm. It's a casting value of 9. If it's successfully cast, pick 1 enemy unit within 18 inches. I'm just going to go and choose the unit of 20. Roll 9 dice. For each 6, it suffers D3 mortal wound. It's casting value of 9. I get to re-roll and match. I'm going to risk it. There's a 5. That'll be a 5 plus 1. So that is an 11.
Okay, it would be silly for me to not try. Nope.
So I'll have 20 points. So I roll 9 dice, and each 6 is D3 mortal wounds. 3.
Ooh, 9.
Ooh, that's 9.
Try to shrug those. That's a 1. So 8 die within 12 inches of the chalice.
In my hero phase, I get to just, within 18 inches, dispel an endless spell.
So 8 die.
I forgot to cast a spell for that. Pink Horrors, Channeled Pink Fire, casting value of 6. They get +1 to cast because they have a horror here next to them. I will roll for that.
Oh my.
Wow.
Well, I can't
You
unbind
can't unbind that. So they are going to be +1 to hit. Movement phase, I'm going to run that unit of Brimstones. They'll go 2, and I'm going to run this unit of Brimstones. They go 1. Hello, folks. Steve here. Sorry for this little interruption. The SD card we were filming on had a couple corrupt files. One of them's later in the game, but I took care of that with some text on the screen. But this movement phases file was very important. So let me explain to you exactly what happened during this movement phase. Of course, I moved the Lord of Change and some of the players around, but more importantly, at the end of the movement phase, I used 20 of the fate points I had been storing to summon in a group of 10 pink horrors. The summoning works very similar to how it worked in the past, but there are a couple differences. One, you're only allowed to summon 1 unit. You subtract that from your total fate points, and you get to keep the remainder of your fate points. I only had 20 at that time. You have to put that unit within 12 inches of a hero and 9 inches away from enemy models. And it's at the end of the movement phase, so of course it cannot move. But I took and I put 10 pink horrors on that central objective to try to secure that. That's it. Now, back to the action. That unit is going to shoot into the Terrorgeist. The whole unit cannot. I think we had 11 pink horrors and the 2 blues that are within 12 inches. They normally hit on 5s, but because I have more than 20, it's +1. And because I cast the spell on the unit, it's +1. Hitting on 3s. Okay, wounding on 4s. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 rend.
That makes his save of 5.
Ooh, not
So
bad.
that's a save. So that's good. And then the 6 plus shrug. Okay, so shrugged that. So he took 2, 4, 6 more. He's at 6.
Lord of Change has a missile attack. His Rod of Sorcery. 2d6 attacks.
Ooh.
3 to hit, 3 to wound, -1 rend, 1 damage. 3 at -1 rend.
Okay, 5s. 2 saved. 6, come on. Nope.
So 1 more.
He's down to 5.
Forgot to mention off camera, I did run the Changecaster over here. He had a 3 on his run roll, so because he ran, he's not allowed to use his Magical Flames, which is an 18-inch shot. Charge phase, there's an important one there in the back, and that's the only one we'll have. I can roll for the charge. If I fail, I can spend one of my command points. I have 2, I gained the 1 at the beginning of this turn. And then on the re-roll, I could use the Destiny Dice. It says you cannot re-roll or modify a roll that uses Destiny Dice. But if it's the re-roll I use from a command point, I don't see anywhere where I couldn't do that. So I'm gonna roll for their charge, and I need a 9. That's a failed charge. So I will spend one of my command points, and I will use my destiny dice, and I need to make this charge, so I am going to use a 6 and a 3. It says in there that if you're going to modify a 2-die-6 roll, you can use 2 destiny dice. So therefore, they will have a successful charge. Combat phase. Do I go with the brimstones first?
I think maybe you should.
Oh, I think you would want me to. I think I will go with the pink horrors that just charged in first. I did not want to bring the Terrorgeist into combat, so I stayed outside of 3 inches. And that means that only 7 of these attack. My goal is to take the objective. It isn't necessarily to kill the unit. And they are hitting on 5s, but they're +1 to hits. They're hitting on 4s.
Ooh.
And they're wounding on 4s. 2 wounds. There is no rend on this.
Okay, so 6s are a save, and 6s for the shrug. No, so 2 die.
For the interest of time, I just removed the 2 brimstones. You win that battle. And there's only 1 other combat to go. You over here.
So I have 8 guys who can pile in and be within 1 inch. However, my spell that was successful did give them the 1 extra attack. So they each get 3 plus 1 for the leader, 4 force. 6.
So this is their regular 6+ save. Because they're pinks, a 6+ shrug off. And that's 1 more. So 4 pinks die and 8 blues will come in. There's the new arrangement. Battle Shock, that unit did you lose 4. So they have 6, they cannot run, but I will roll, because if I roll a 1, I bring pinks back. Nope, that's a 6. Oh, am I -1 Battle Shock near your...
Yeah, within 1 inch.
-1 Bravery. That actually does mean that one of those runs. Each time a wound or mortal wound is allocated, you must pick a pink. This is in the Battle Shock phase, and he flees. So I'm reading that I can take a blue out.
Except that it says that...
They count as slain.
Slain.
So that means I get to put a brimstone in. So I'm going to remove a blue and put in a brim. This unit here lost 9 due to spells.
So 4, so I lose 3.
I have both these objectives, which means I achieved that objective, so that unit now counts for the rest of the game 2 on an objective versus 1 for each model. That's 3 points, plus the 2 in the middle, 5 more. 13 to 8 at the end of turn 3. Roll off and you win ties.
4. 3.
Oh, 4 to 3. You get to choose.
Oh, I choose me. I've lost models from this unit, so my Vargolf is going to roll to see if I can bring them back. And every 2+, I can bring back a Surf, so I can bring back 6 of those. So I'm going to go ahead and roll for this one, and he can bring back 5. This one, all my
So they're all back again. All your goals are back again.
Right. In my hero phase, I can heal my Terrorgeist and Zombie Dragons and Aberrants. So I can heal up to D3. So I'll roll for that. 1. So he goes up to 6. I'm going to go ahead and do Malefic Hunger on my Zombie Dragon because that's the one that's out of range of your guy over there. And that is a 6 to cast. 7.
I will attempt to unbind that with the Change Caster. That is a fail.
He gets Malefic Hunger.
I am back to now 1 point.
Then I'm going to go with my Archregent. He is going to attempt to cast Ferocious Hunger on this unit of 30 ghouls. And it is a 6 to cast, and he gets a +1. And I got a 6, +1 is 7.
Didn't need to match. That's from the Lord of Change.
Next, I'm going to try to put my Chalice back out.
Who's casting it?
The Archregent again. So that's a 6, and that goes off with at a 6. All right, then he's going to put that out.
There's the Chalice, and now I have 2 total fate points.
My Ghoul King is going to do Black Hunger. It is a 5 to cast.
That I will attempt to unbind. And that is an 8. It is unbound.
He is going to try to do Unholy Vitality, and that is a 6 to cast. And I got an 11.
Changeling will try that, and that is a 5. It went off.
So he will have a 5+ shrug. That's it for my casting. I'm going to run my unit of 20.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, that was really nice for you.
Run the Courtier. So he's going to be able to keep up with them. For my Ghoul King, he gets a 3. For my Archregent to run, he gets a 3. 10 ghouls right here are going to run, and they just get an additional 1.
Shooting.
So we're going to do Pestilent Breath with the Zombie Dragon. Go after the Brimstone. Because there are more than 6 models, I can't miss. So as long as I get a 2+, it's D6 damage. Yep, D6 damage on the Brimstones.
4 mortal wounds. They do not have a shrug off. 4 of those go bye-bye. He only adds 4 to the dice roll with his shriek now, and he has a 10 bravery, so he cannot be above the bravery, so he cannot do damage with the shriek.
That's it for shooting. Charge phase.
Charge phase.
Couple big charges.
Snake eyes?
No. My Terrorgeist is gonna charge in and get an 8.
Well, he's good.
And then this unit of 30 is gonna charge in. Ooh, they get 11.
That's an 11. They're real good.
And then my zombie dragon gets a 3.
Oh, he just makes it.
Barely makes it.
Are you going to re-roll, try to get to the other side? Are you going to spend a
I
character
am
point?
not, because I want to be able to fight again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You going there first?
I am. I'm going to try to at least bring that Lord of Change down a few levels.
Locus of Change. -1 to hit him in melee.
So I am going to start with the Gory Talons and Fangs. 5 attacks. Typically they hit on a 3, but they're going to hit on a 4.
Those are your rolls to hit.
Yep, I missed 1. 3's to wound. -1 rend.
He has a 4+ save, so these would be a 5+ save. 2 save.
1 each.
1 each, so he's down to 12 wounds.
His Skeletal Claws, he is down to 3 attacks with those. 4 to hit, so these hit on 5s. 1 hit. Wounds on 3s. And that wounds, -1 rend.
Not saved.
D3 damage. 2.
He's down to 10.
Now, I did not do this last time. I forgot. My Terrorgeist has a mount trait, and so he has a gruesome bite, which means that I can re-roll hit rolls for his fanged maw.
Ooh, wow.
And his fanged maw is the one that if it's a 6, it's 6 automatic wounds.
Yes.
So typically it hits on a 4, so these are going to hit on 5,
But
6s.
you're re-rolling all misses.
Re-rolling misses.
I'm going to bring up the designer's commentary on the core rules. This is one that does drive a lot of people who play both 40k and Age of Sigmar nuts. And that is, rerolls happen before any modifiers are applied. So the success or failure will always be based on the unmodified roll. So in other words, she hits on a 4. A 4 is not a failed roll. She cannot re-roll the 4 on this upcoming roll. Then the modifier goes into place, which is -1. It turns the 4 to a 3. So she will not be able to re-roll 4s because the original roll, the unmodified roll, did not fail. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yep. So you don't want any 4s.
If I roll 3 4s, I am going to be very upset.
That'll be taken down in camera for history if you do that.
Okay.
Oh, well, no 4s.
That is an automatic 6.
That's 6 mortal wounds.
Yes. This hits.
And that one you get to re-roll.
And this one I can
because
reroll.
of your mount trait.
Yes. Come on, 6.
Oh, no. Okay.
So now I still have to wound with them.
Which is what?
3s.
3s to wound.
So 1 at -2, and that's automatically 6.
That's a 6. Oh, that was saved.
Ooh.
But he is down to 4 wounds.
All right, and now I'm going to use my feeding frenzy. Because I get to do that for free.
You're
once
bullying
per
the Lord of
turn.
Change again.
So I am going to do my attacks again.
You're just doing the entire attack sequence once again immediately.
Again. Yes.
That's scary. Oh, this is not looking good. I made a big mistake. I was hoping to get the back-to-back and I would have shot and killed him, but it didn't happen.
So 3s to hit, but without the negative, it's 4s. So 2 of them hit. This is the Talons and Fangs. 3s to wound. 1 wound, -1 rend.
Nope.
1 wound. Skeletal Claws, normally hits on a 4, hits on a 5 now. 3 to wound, no. And now we will do the maw.
Scariness.
Okay.
3 4s.
So
That hits, and those you get to
These two I
re-roll.
get to reroll.
And he's dead.
Oh yeah, because that would be 6.
He is dead.
Dun dun dun.
No, that's the weakness in this build. If you can take him off the tabletop, the change host engine goes away. I'm going to attack over there. I have 11 pinks with 1 attack. I have 2 blues with 1 attack each, 13. And then a brimstone. That's 14, 15, actually.
Okay.
And they're 5 to hit. The spell does last until my next hero phase. So it's +1 to hit, so they're hitting on 4s. They're wounding on 4s. 5. No rend.
No rend. 6 save. No saves. 6 shrug.
So 5 die.
5 die.
Aberrant Ghoul King on the zombie dragon.
So his first attack is going to go into the brimstones, but the other 2 attacks are a 2 and 3 inch attack. Those are both going to go into the pink horrors.
Good time to remind anybody who's new to the game, you have to declare all your targets at the beginning. Right. She can't make the decision to see if she kills off the brimstones and then decide if she's going to attack them.
He did get his Malefic Hunger spell off, which allows all Flesh Eater Court units wholly within 16 inches of him to reroll their wound roll. So these are on the brimstones, and they are 3/3. And then rerolling failed wounds. 2, -1 rend.
No save.
Okay, so that is 1 each, so 2 of your brimstones. Okay, his snapping maw is 3 attacks, 4/3. These are into the pink. He does not get that nice hit roll of 6 extra things. So, but they do all 3 hits, so that's good. 3s to wound. All 3 wound, -2 rend.
-2 rend does nothing, so D6 each?
D6.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Well, on a positive note, you're not creating that many blues.
I know, but then I can't kill that many blues.
That is true. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was
4
an
with D6
awful.
each. And I saved 3 of them.
Seriously?
I shrugged off 3 of them.
Oh my God. So they get the shrug even though they were a brought in unit.
Yes, the shrug's on the war scroll. That's not in part of the battalion.
4 3s on his sword-like claws. Rerolling wounds. Sorry, failed wounds. 3s. All 4, -1 rend.
There's no save.
2 each, so 8.
2 saved, so 6 more dead. So there's 7 gone so far. And that's it?
That's it for now.
She's probably going to attack again, as she can with a command point. But now with the break, I will take the 7 away and replace them with the blues.
Feeding frenzy time.
Feeding frenzy time with our new unit of mainly blues.
So I'm going to use a command point, so that'll take me down to 1. And we will just do all of those one more time.
So 14 wounds. I had 3 pinks left. Take the 3 pinks out. 6 blues went back in, but that left 11 wounds. So then 11 blues came out, and 11 brimstones went back in.
Excellent.
The way I do this quickly is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Brimstones get 2 attacks with their talons, so that's 26 attacks. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So there's 35 attacks, not +1 for the leader, because the leader's a pink, and they all hit the exact same. These are hitting on 5s, and these are wounding on 4s. 4. 35 attacks.
And no rend?
No rend.
So 6 saves, no 6s, 6 shrug, no shrug,
They kill
4
4.
die.
23 of them are attacking with 3 attacks apiece. This is 12 of them, including the general.
And I get to re-roll hit rolls of 1 because I'm within 18 inches of a friendly aberrant.
Well, she's counting. Show her pile in.
My 1s.
That's the hits on half of them?
And half.
Wow, now those are 4 to wound?
And re-rolling fails.
And all fails?
All fails.
Because of his 16-inch bubble?
Because, yeah, the Malefic Hunger.
Not looking good for you guys.
Fails. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 on the first half.
My 6 save, not shrug off, just the normal 6 save.
8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17.
17 on the first half. Here's the second half of them.
Second half, I did take out 3 because it was 11 more I needed, plus I took out the 1 for the leader. Okay. After re-rolling my 1s, that is the number of hits for the second half.
4 to wound and re-rolling all wounds.
All wounds.
So 9 more in the second grouping,
Right.
plus 17s, 26 wounds. Out of 31 total wounds, 26 wounds. Let me pull them off.
All right.
Tracy gets to roll for this chalice, and I actually will take a battle shock roll. I forgot for my pinks, because if I roll a 1, I get to bring pinks back.
Right.
And I did! So I get to bring 4 pinks back if I've lost 4. We'll calculate that up.
Okay.
Your chalice?
So 25 models died within 12 inches of it, so I can bring back on a 5+. I think it's 5+, might be 4+.
I think it's 4+.
But I only need to bring back 4. So
5 or 4 didn't matter. Once again, all of her ghouls are back. So Tracy got 5 points this turn. She got both that on those sides. So that's 3. She got the middle. That's 2. So that's 5. So right now, going into the bottom of the 4th, my turn of the 4th, we are tied 13-13. All right, the hero phase. Boy, I do not have a lot to do here because Lord of Change is gone. He is going to attempt to cast Pink Fire of TZEENTCH, and it's a 9 to cast. It's going to replace one of the dice, and that will give me the second dice. I need a 4 or more. And I got it with a 5.
5, so I can try to.
You can attempt to unbind that.
Nope, not with a 6.
5 and a 1. So that does D6 mortal wounds.
I have 6 left.
5.
5, 6. Shrug off. Shrug 2 takes 3, so he's down to 3.
He's down to 3. So then he is going to attempt Fold Reality. Fold Reality has a casting value of 7. Made it.
Ooh,
8. Oh, that's unbound. Actually, he's 18 inches from the ghouls. So he is going to try Bolt of Tzeentch. That is a casting value of 7. That fails. So he will try Arcane Bolt. That's successful. She didn't have anybody within 30 to unbind. 1 dies. I've done the math, and the only way I think I can win this is to get the back-to-back and try to take both that objective and the center objective simply with the volume of numbers I've got. So I'm going to run them. Oh, and that's a run of a 6. And I'm also going to run the Changeling. And he runs 2. Changecaster has 1 attack. He hits with a 3. All 3 hit. Oh, Magical Flames hit on a 4. Actually, I am sorry. So the 3 misses. They wound on a 4. 1 wounds. -2 rend.
Nope.
1 damage. So he's down to 4 wounds. Quick turn. We don't have any combat.
Wow.
Battle Shack. Nobody died. And points. I get 3 more points. At the end of turn 4, it's 16 to 13.
Yes.
Tzeentch is up by 3. This turn's huge because, quite honestly, if you win the roll-off, game's over. You're going to get the middle. You're going to get those 3 points. And you're going to bring this huge volume of those and him and destroy all that and get this.
Yes.
So you will get
That is the plan.
3, 4, 5, 6. You'll be up by 3. All you got to do is bring that zombie dragon over here, put him in the way, charge into him,
Well, and it'll take up most of the space.
and he'll take up most of the space 6 inches away. All this group of numbers can also, because I can't change host, I can't teleport.
Right.
You're holding it, so all your groups there in the back, all the groups over here, they can all come into the middle.
Well, that would be the plan. but let's see.
I feel pretty comfortable if you win this roll off. We're just going to call it and you win. All right, here we go.
Ready? I win ties.
Yes, you do.
Oh, shoot. It's a 5.
It's a 5
I try to roll right there and it bounces.
and a 2. You win. You've got it.
Flesh Eater Cord.
I'm going to call at this point in time. Let's go through that again. I have a 3-point lead. You are going to be able 4 brimstones and a changecaster with 30 bodies here. That's not going to be a problem.
20 bodies there.
20 bodies here. That's not going to be a problem. You'll take that. You'll give that up. That's no
Yeah,
problem.
this one's a
That's
lost
no problem.
point.
You'll move him over in front of all them to block them,
And bring my bodies in.
and then bring your bodies into block, and then he moves 10 inches, so he comes in
does.
as an extra. These guys, you have a command point that you'll be able to just run them, and just run them 12 inches up. So by you winning that, you're going to get the points I will not be able to get at the bottom of the turn.
But that was a fun game.
It was a fun game.
Yes.
We did this to kind of show it also. I think one reason we're willing to do this is the longest filming battle report we've done because we're both playing brand new armies with a brand new book.
Yeah, this is the first time I've played a full 2,000 point army all the way through.
And
Game all the way through.
with Flesh Eater Courts.
Yes.
Yes. This is, of course, the very first Tzeentch game with this brand new book. So we'll talk about it a little bit in the aftercast, and that's it.
Excellent.
Good game.
Good game.
That was fun.
That was a really fun game. Early on, you said we set up and we started talking about the table, and right away Steve was like, "This is a chess game," and that is how it played out.
Yeah, I think this is going to bring a lot of your players that enjoy playing it like chess. How if I move a piece there, I move a piece there. That's the change host. Mainly talking about the change host because of the movement
What we
shenanigans.
played, right?
And that is my style. I love it. I just love it. If you can't, I made a mistake by leaving that Lord of Change out open and allowing you to kill him with the Terrorgeist.
Allowing me to kill him.
Because the problem you had early on was I wasn't leaving him open.
Right, no. And he was right in the middle of the table and could dispel everything at a whim.
And move things around, and the fact that you don't have the shooting means that if I would have kept him a little more protected, it would have been more difficult for you to kill him.
Yes.
Not saying it would have won the game, but it definitely would have provided me more movement options later in the game. That he's the weakness is you play a lot of Skaven with Jezzails and stuff like that, or shooty Stormcast army. Take out the Lord of Change and you really nullify one of the biggest strengths. The Multitudinous Host is another option of potentially of a battalion. You need 8 units of horrors, but every hero phase you bring back D3.
Well, so you're going to be kind of like the ghouls, in
Yes.
that you're never going to be down.
You're never going to be done. That is an absolute horde build. But pinks are expensive at $200 for 10 of them.
200 points.
200 points. 200 points for 10 of them. They're not quite $200. GW's not got that high. So if they do much better, they might be. But there's also, if you went to the Coven, that you're the summoning Coven, and being able to bring Lords of Change in.
Oh, we talked about that. Yeah.
So I might have one unpainted and another box in there.
Yeah, multiple of the Lord of Change, bringing those in at summoning points that are highly discounted. That will be another build we will play later.
You'll get the Lord. You can do a build and easily get a Lord of Change in turn 1.
Right.
Turn 1.
Yeah.
And that's scary. And then with him adding in more fate points because of his casting, yes, that's pretty scary.
And dispelling all over the place, so nobody else is ever going to cast a spell.
And Kairos, remember, if you don't know Kairos the Fate Weaver, they put him up 20 points, but he gets an extra spell. He casts 3. So that makes Kairos I think the box one I'm going to turn into a Kairos. What do you think of Flesh Eater? That's your first 2,000 point game.
I love them. I really do. I like ending a game that, 1, I didn't get completely annihilated, but 2, I still have a lot of things I could do. Well, I have options still.
That was a point that, best case scenario, if I took the middle and the last part, we were going to tie in points. Then it went to kill points. You lost nothing.
Right.
And to do that, I might have had my pinks kill the Aberrant Ghoul King on the Zombie Dragon.
Right, and that's
what would have happened.
Yeah.
Not likely, but it might have happened.
Right.
So, yes, it was a great game. That was one of the most fun games we've played
in a while. Yeah, I mean, we play a lot of fun games that we like to play AOS. This one was fun. We had to think about every single move we made, every spell we cast, who would be the best person to cast it on, all of that.
That's a good matchup. That would be a really good
Whether
matchup.
or not you were going to dispel because you were trying to get fate points at the same time that you were trying to keep me from winning.
Her endless spell out there. There were times I went, let's just keep it. I get the point. I get the fate point. And she's just bringing anybody back with those courtiers anywhere.
Right.
Which another possibility is, if you're playing against Flesh Eater Court, focus on, kill those courtiers. If they would have gotten in range, you staying outside of that 18-inch bubble of those spells.
So I couldn't get sniped by your spells.
Yeah. Between the change casters, the bolt of change, he did 15 mortal wounds. You could dish out 25 mortal wounds in spell with this army without a major issue. Do remember the Pink Horse lost the ability to get a lore spell. They can only cast their own spell. So that changes the game with TZEENTCH.
Although multiple units can cast the same spell.
That spell, they have it, clearly states every one of the units can cast it. And that's great. I think in the long run, whether or not my go-to is TZEENTCH or Sylvaneth right now is going to be a tough call for me.
I think that's kind of nice, though, because since you like both of them, you won't get bored in any way because you can change them up.
Oh, I'll still get bored. So there'll be a third.
So whenever a new army comes out, I'm sure we'll be like, oh, let's try that one.
Did not go down Slaves to Darkness road at all. The
they were really cool.
They were really cool. And the Bone Reapers are still in the boxes. So, but that was a good game.
That was a very good game. I hope you guys got a lot out of that game.
Sorry if made any mistakes. It's opening weekend. Just reading the book and
trying to read the whole book
for the very first time.
Changes,
So probably made some mistakes. And I do know some of like the interpretations on the Destiny dice with 2 dice 6. I don't know if I'm getting that right or wrong. Would love to hear what people think about it. Not in the comment section, or please on our Facebook page. Would love to get in a discussion about what you think of the new TZEENTCH book. And what do you think of the strengths and the weaknesses. And I will probably ask to be joining the TZEENTCH Facebook Age of Sigmar group. If one exists. I haven't checked that out yet. Because the Sylvaneth group has tremendous discussions.
Lots of
absolutely tremendous discussions. It's a great group. So, if you're going to go to LVO, look us up. We'd love to see you.
See us, please say hi.
Lexicon, LogicCon, Brew City Brawl,
and Adepticon.
We got a busy winter into early spring. We're going to beat each one of those, and we would love to.
and hopefully Midwest Meltdown.
And, well, that's later in the summer. That's
but sign-ups are coming up.
Sign-ups are coming up February 1st for Midwest Meltdown in Bloomington. What? Hey, shh, we have an in. We'll get in. But maybe not. But all right. Thank you guys very much for watching.
Yeah. And are we going to say our thing?
I almost forgot what it was.
Oh, keep playing.
Keep playing? Is that it? Well,
Yeah.
let's go back to
Okay.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Tracy.
And we are the Partners at War. And keep playing.
What are you doing? I'm trying to put my horrors back in there. What are you doing?
It's like the troll under the bridge.